And look, my life not sweet. I made a video about JP Morgan Chase Bank. They was buying slaves, our ancestors, and using them as collateral. And ironically, the day after I made that video, my bank account got hacked. But you think that's gonna stop me? No. And then look, this the games they play. Kendrick Lamar had their performance, a performance that made you think. We breaking down this stuff today, but they want to put out a Drake album yesterday that talks about nothing. It's a pointless album. But they do this stuff on purpose so people cannot think. They do this stuff on purpose so you can just be comfortable on the plantation. So look, I need y'all to watch this full video because at the end I have a short clip and it's a powerful video. But first, check this out.
I see you brought your homeboys with you. The old culture cheat code. Scorekeeper, deduct a life.
And I find it very ironic when we talk about our culture, when we talk about our history, when we talk about our music, people want us to shut up. But all throughout our life through school, they could talk about Anne Frank. They could talk about Pearl Harbor. They could talk about Christopher Columbus. And the most part, it's all a lie. So on this channel, if you don't like the cook up, it's not for you. It's for my people. FBA is for my people. We have work to do. And until we get reparations like everybody else, I'm not shutting up. Because for the longest, we've been against the ops. And when I say the ops, I mean the government. And no one tried to help us. No one's speaking up for us. The same government that unalived our leaders. The same government that created ways to keep our family broken and never to repair. And the same government that purposely hid our history from us. And if you one of these people and you don't know what side of the fence you want to be on, stay over there. So let's get right into this breakdown. Black Uncle Sam, aka Samuel L. Jackson, he said something very important. Oh, you brought your homeboys with you. Yo, culture cheat code, scorekeeper, deduct one life. And look, you had a lot of people who got it. You had a lot of people who really missed what was going on. What happens when we have leaders that stand up for us, that speak for us, that bring us together? What do they do to them? They unalive them. Fred Hampton, one life deducted. Malcolm X, one life deducted. Huey P. Newton, one life deducted. Dr. MLK Jr., one life deducted. Medgar Evers, one life deducted. Bobby Hutton, one life deducted. And I can go on and on. See, throughout all these years, their goal against us, the FBA community, their goal was to keep us separated because they know if we come together, we are powerful. So they can never have a messiah, a black messiah. They can't have that. The culture cheat code is we are stronger together. So you're going to always have people that's trying to keep us divided. Oh, black people ain't this. Black people never going to be this. Don't listen to them. They are paid agents. Never listen to them, because if we want to move forward, we can't keep going back and trying to convince these people. When it comes to our music, no one can compare to us in anything when we really go hard. For example, Kendrick Lamar versus Drake. Drake couldn't do anything with Kendrick. He's not authentic. Kendrick is authentic and he's FBA. We have everything already inside of us that we need. We grew up in the culture. We don't have to cosplay. We don't have to act like a Drake. And look, our ops, aka the government, they know the culture cheat code. They know when we come together, we are strong. We are powerful. So that's why they do certain things like drop a bomb in Philadelphia on our people. And not just drop the bomb, but they also kept the bones of our people in Pennsylvania museums. And then they give you a cartoon comic Black Panthers, but they'll never tell you who the real Black Panthers was. And a lot of us learn that as we get older. From 1969 onward, the party created social programs, including the free breakfast for children programs, education programs, and community health clinics. The Black Panther Party advocated for a class structure, claiming to represent the proletarian vanguard. And we had that coming together, right? And what do our ops, aka the government, decide to do? Check this out. The night before the first breakfast program in Chicago was supposed to open, a female Panther told historian Nick Hayden the Chicago police broke in the church and mashed up all the food and urinated on it. And see, this the part of history they don't tell you. They just say, oh, black people lazy. You're always complaining. You're always begging. What? Look what you did to our people. The Black Panther Party. All we was doing was minding our business, protecting our people, helping our people. And what you do, you unalive some of the members. You send some of the members to prison for life. So you got to check this out. In this era, the government, our ops, they don't care about your diplomas. They don't care about your work history. Matter of fact, they want to wipe out everything in the FBA history, everything our ancestors did for America. They want to wipe it out like it never happened. And then you have some people saying, oh, if Kendrick was trying to start a revolution, he wouldn't be at the Super Bowl. What? Do you remember I said our ancestors was on the plantation playing music, making music, but that was coded messages. They were sending messages before the escape. They was on the plantation. If you look at Kendrick at that performance, the NFL, these football stadiums are plantations. That stadium is a plantation. And the same way Kendrick Lamar was using coded messages in his songs for his people, our ancestors did the same thing. They had songs like Swing Low, Sweet Chariot, Follow the Drinking Gourd, Wade in the Water, Steal Away. And all these songs have hidden messages in it. So Kendrick came there to spark the revolution, just like Tupac said. Tupac said, I'm not saying I'm going to change the world, but I can guarantee that I will spark the brain that will change the world. And look, if you haven't, I want you to go listen to the GNX album. Go listen to it. It's nothing but hidden messages, coded messages in that album. It's powerful. And look, I believe at a certain age, we all decide either you go bow down and be comfortable on the plantation, or you go choose to fight in a revolution for your people, to uplift your people, no matter the circumstances. So when it comes to this revolution, we need more content creators, not more of these people. We need more musicians that's for the people. We need more artists that's for the people. So shout out to Kendrick Lamar for being that spark. And just like I promised y'all, here's the clip. I'm out.
I was wondering about our yesterdays and digging through the rubble. And to say the least, somebody went to a hell of a lot of trouble to make sure that when we looked things up, we wouldn't fare too well. And we would come up with totally unreliable pictures of ourselves. But I've compiled what few facts I could, such as they are, to see if we could find out a little bit of something. And this is what I got so far. First, white folks discovered Africa. They claimed it fair and square. Cecil Rhodes couldn't have been robbing nobody because, hell, there wasn't nobody there. And white folks brought all the civilization because there wasn't none around. How could the folks be civilized when wasn't nobody writing nothing down? And just to prove all of their suspicions, well, didn't take too long. They found out that there were whole tribes of people in plain sight running around with no clothes on. That's right. The men, the women, the young, and the old righteous folks covered their eyes. And no time was spent considering the environment. Hell no, this just wasn't civilized. And another piece of information they had, or at least this is what we were taught, is that unlike the civilized people of Europe, these tribal units actually fought. And yes, there was some crude implements, and yes, there was primitive art, and yes, they were masters of hunting and fishing, and courtesy came from the heart. And yes, there was love and medicine, religion, intertribal communication by drum, but no paper, no pencils, and no other utensils, and hell, these folks never even heard of a gun. And this is why the colonies came, to stabilize the land, because the dark continent had copper and gold, and the discoverers had themselves a plan. They would discover all the places with promise. You didn't need no titles and deeds. Then they would appoint people to make everything legal, to sanction the trickery and greed. And back in the jungle, when the natives got restless, they would call it guerrilla attack. And they would never describe that the folks finally got wise and decided that they would fight back. And still, we are victims of word games. Semantics is always a bitch. Places once referred to as underdeveloped are now called mineral rich. And the game goes on eternally. Unity kept just beyond reach. Egypt and Libya used to be in Africa. They've now been moved to the Middle East. There are examples galore, I assure you, but if interpreting were left up to me, I'd be sure every time folks knew this version wasn't mine, which is why it is called his story.